What's up guys, Mike here with Cards Sports Cards. So how much money can you make selling sports cards on eBay? Can you make money at all? Can you quit your day job? How long does it take to make money? In today's video, we're going to jump into some of the numbers with collections I've bought and cards I've sold, as well as look at some other examples in the market today. So let's jump in. Before we do, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. And of course, if you really want to show support for Cards Sports Cards, head on over to the eBay store and buy a few of the cards. Alright, it's the question that every sports card investor or aspiring sports card investor wants to know the answer to. Can you make money selling sports cards? And if so, how much money can you make? The short answer is yes, you absolutely can. But the answer can also be you absolutely might not. So how much money can you make? I hate to give this answer, but there's a lot of factors that can affect how much money you can make selling sports cards, even if you make any at all. So let's look at some examples where I've made money and also some examples where I've lost money or haven't made money yet. A hockey card collection I bought last year, 230 cards in the set, total cost $54.61 for a 24-cent cost per card. 75 total cards sold so far from that collection for a current net profit, that's money after my expenses, of $117.75. And there's still 155 cards out there on eBay listed where I can generate more profit from that collection. How much money can you make selling sports cards on eBay? In this case, I made $117.75 and have the opportunity to make more. Let's look at another example. Tage Thompson, hockey player drafted in the first round in 2016, 26th overall. How much did I buy his Young Guns for in February of 2022, 6 years after he was drafted? $8.72. How much did I sell it for on December 11th, 2022? $179.49 for a total profit of $170.77. How much money can you make selling sports cards on eBay? $170.77. Add up the profit I made from both of those collections and I've made almost $300 net profit. Now obviously these are just a couple of isolated cases where I made money selling low-end sports cards on eBay. But how much money can you make over time? Is it sustainable? Now you might say, well, can't you just buy collections like I did in the first example and resell the cards and make a profit? If you made $117, can't you just buy 10 collections like that and make $1,000? Sure, you can, but there is no guarantee that you're going to make profit or sell the cards from the collections that you buy, because 100% of this market, and don't forget this point, is dependent on factors like player performance and hype, popularity, team performance, product relevance to resellers and collectors. So you can't just buy cards to list and hope that they sell. Hope is not a strategy. You need to be strategic about the cards that you're listing and list cards that you actually think are going to sell. But first you have to buy the cards that you think have the best chance of selling. Now if you follow my hockey card channel, you know that I only follow hockey as a sport, and because of that I am really dialed into what players and cards and products have a good potential for success. And that definitely helps when buying collections, because it helps identify which players and cards have the best chance of selling. Yes, I made $117 on that collection, and I've made money on 2 other hockey card collections I've bought as well, but I have yet to break even, although very close on some, on 12 other collections that I bought of various sports. Some of those I don't even have listed yet, so the data is a little bit skewed, but at the end of the day I have not made profit on those yet. One thing I've learned, and I'm still learning, is that even if you don't follow a sport closely, you need to do a lot of research on the players and products that you're buying to know if they have a good chance of selling or not. I bought a pretty big basketball card collection recently for pretty cheap. Some good names and inserts, even some autos. I've listed some in the store and not only have only a few sold, but my overall listing impressions have gone way down. Based on some of the market research I've done, basketball is not actually selling that great right now. So I probably didn't do enough research on the front end with this collection as well as with the sport itself. Again, can I just buy 10 collections and make $1,000? Sure you can, but you need to buy the right collections with cards and products that will sell, and that's very hard to predict. In the second example where I bought Tage Thompson's Young Guns, you might say, well, can't I just find some other sleeper athletes who haven't hit their potential yet and buy their cards, wait till they get hot and then sell them for a bunch of money? Sure, you absolutely can. And if you've done this successfully for over 100 cards, let me know your method, because again, this is very hard to predict as well. I know hockey very well. I heard Tage Thompson's name. He was slightly picking up steam, but because he was a first-round draft pick in 2016 who already had a lot of NHL games under his belt, people started to kind of see him as maybe a bust, or maybe wasn't going to reach that first-round potential. So a lot of that first-round hype had already settled and his prices dropped, or they were never that high in the first place, so his card was cheap. But the Buffalo Sabres, I know, were slowly on the rise and are still working to be on the rise after a long time of rebuilding. So I thought the card had a good chance of appreciating because I thought the player could still break out on a team that was also hopefully going to break out soon. And I was right. Well, can I just do that 10 times and make $1,000? Yes, you can, but again, this is very hard to predict. I'll dive deeper into some new methods I'm using in a later video, but I've been trying to apply this same logic to some football players as well. The only problem is that time has to actually pass to see if this will actually work. You need to give time for the hype to build for that player if there was currently no hype. So yes, in both of these examples, I made money. And yes, if you repeated the same formula and the cards actually sold, then yes, you could make $1,000. But there's a lot of risk associated with buying and reselling sports cards. For every Tage Thompson you buy and resell at profit, if you buy 10 other players hoping for the same, you might only get 1 or even 0 out of that group that actually brings a profit. And then you're stuck trying to move inventory at a lower price if you can even move it at all. Then you have to account for the loss on those cards against the profit of the other one, and quickly you can be in the negative if you're looking at your business as a whole. Not to mention, we don't know how fast our cards will sell if they do end up selling. It can take years for a nobody in sports to become a somebody, where their cards are selling at peak prices. So while you're waiting for those cards to sell, you're buying other collections, listing, waiting for those to sell, reinvesting capital, spending more money. It's a business that requires a constant reinvestment of your capital as you get it. And even if you make money on a card or collection, it doesn't mean you have a profitable business. We haven't even gotten into other expenses like shipping, supplies, stamps, other overhead costs like eBay store subscriptions. All of those things contribute to your bottom line and should be measured against your net sales and your cash flow. I watch a lot of other channels and I see a lot of sellers talk about their sales on eBay. All of those initial sales numbers on eBay are your gross sales. So it's your sales without expenses taken from them. And even if you look at some of the reporting on eBay where you can look at your net profit, you still have to account for your card costs and other expenses that aren't in the eBay platform. So where am I at right now as a sports card investor and flipper? What strategies am I using to make money on sports cards? I'm going to do a completely separate video at one point that goes more in depth about the methods that I'm using. You've already seen a glimpse of some of that in the examples we've covered in this video, but ultimately where I'm at in my journey is trying to go back and repeat that same process of those profitable cards and collections. What made them sell so well? Why were they profitable? Were they newer cards, rookies, veterans? How long ago was the product that they sold from released? And then applying this to not only hockey cards, but other sports as well. I'm still learning, guys, and that's the entire point of this channel, is to share my journey as I learn new things with you. Ultimately, you can make money selling sports cards. You can lose money selling sports cards. You have to do a lot of market research. Don't be fooled by your overall sales number. Make sure you take your expenses into account. Those are just a couple examples and some methods I'm using now. Obviously, you can grade cards and make money on those, and there's a whole bunch of other things you can do. Leave me a comment and let me know how you're making money on your sports cards. And of course, if you want to unlock the secrets of selling and investing in low-end sports cards on eBay, this channel is your go-to source for expert tips, honest insights, and strategies to help boost your eBay sales. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you want to stay ahead in the card selling game, maximize your profits, and take your eBay card selling business to the next level. You can also check out my other channel at Puck Mike, where I open and talk about hockey cards. And of course, don't forget, if you want to support Cards Use Sports Cards, head on over to the eBay store and buy a few of the cards. I'll see you all in the next video.